Hi guys, welcome to Filmlab. I'm Joan and today I'm going to be doing a solo review on Filmlab. We'll be reviewing Bimbo Ademoye's movie called Miles Away from Home. This is quite an interesting movie and she had some star-studded actors in it and, as we know, her very good friend. So before I go into dissecting Bimbo's movie, Miles Away from Home, let's go on a quick short break, and when we come back, we're going to go straight into it.
Baby, this one, there's no rejection. In Jesus' name, you get this job.
If you go, she will miss me. My girlfriend, she no go even agree.
You won't leave opportunity to come for you because of woman.
I hear you, calm down. What happened?
Welcome back. This is still Filmlab and we're reviewing Miles Away from Home. Now, this movie is quite an interesting one. It has some star-studded actors like Timini. It also has Sandra. It also has in it Barbara Soki and, of course, Bimbo Ademoye. This movie evoked a number of feelings in me, and unlike the other movies where you see Bimbo and Timini, a lot of producers like to pair them as a love interest and then they just make the whole movie about a romantic love interest that, both of them share. But this time, Bimbo took a different spin to Miles Away from Home. And as a Nigerian youth, it made me feel certain types of ways, because if you're living in Nigeria and a Nigerian youth, there's certain relatable factors. Disclaimer, this is going to be a bit of a spoiler. So if you haven't watched it, you might want to still stay tuned, and hey, I wouldn't spoil it too much for you. So I've written down a couple of things that caught my attention. And just like I said, Bimbo Ademoye and Timini in the Nollywood industry, they paired them as love interests. Now, in terms of the chemistry that these two people hold, I wrote a question now. Does Bimbo and Timini bring enough emotional depth to carry the film's central relationship? I would say yes. Independently, they did bring in a lot of emotional depth, because Deji, which was acted by Timini, the character Deji that was acted by Timini, man, Timini knows how to, he knows how to interpret emotions, especially heightened, intense emotions that, the character is being put under pressure or going through certain things. I would rather love watching Timini in that light than as a lover boy, because I feel that when he was almost typecasted into that whole lover boy character, and it limited his dexterity, like his range as a brilliant actor. And even Bimbo Ademoye did bring emotional depth. Like, this is them, these two people individually, right? They both brought in emotional depth, because Bimbo was able to show what it's like to be a child who decided to carve their own path. First of all, be in their head for the longest, make assumptions, and then decide to go away from everything they once knew into a new reality that she had to cope with. And she coped with all sorts of treatments, especially from her manager. So yes, these two people really brought in, emotional depth. And then this time, when they did come together as a pair, as a couple, I love how they ensured that the story wasn't about their love story, but it was about two Nigerians in a foreign land trying to find meaning and trying to resuscitate love as basically as an anchor to overcome whatever trials and tribulations they were both dealing with individually, and then coming together. Brilliantly done. Now, in terms of the Nigerian youth reality, the film does represent Nigerian youth navigating pressure, independence, and survival. Was it relatable or was it romanticized? I would say it was a bit of both. Now, it was highly relatable, extremely relatable. Why? because the character Deji went through a lot. He had a grandmother who had diabetes, and she believed in using the natural herbs to cure or manage her diabetes. And there was a lot of financial constraints because Deji is a graduate. He did graduate with flying colors, but then the reality that a Nigerian youth will go to school and come out and not be able to find a job, and then you have to start doing mundane work or odd jobs like gardening. And you could see that, okay, he picked gardening because it tied into what he actually did study in school, and it showed us the reality that a lot of Nigerian youth go into school, come out, and even when they don't have jobs, some of them keep their dreams going no matter the pressure. And that's what Timini's character depicted. And the pressure of also, having to take care of an elderly person who is dealing with really bad health crisis and issues. And I believe that almost every Nigerian youth has faced that reality, having to tend or take care, because nowadays, because of the, like what the movie depicted, the stress and the lack of work, we see that it has become a cycle whereby the parents age, and because they were not able to make anything, of their lives because of financial constraints, the children now have to become the breadwinners. They now have to take care of their aging parent or grandparent, at the same time still trying to navigate. But was it also romanticized? Yes, it was a bit romanticized because it just kept going on and on and on and on about his struggles. Now, reality triumphs the fact that it was romanticized, because honestly, in Nigeria, that is the reality of quite a number of Nigerian youth. So, hey, and let's talk about the emotional conflict that this film actually brought to us. Now, this film did it actually effectively explore abandonment, forgiveness, and personal boundaries? In the light of abandonment, I would say it kind of touched on it, but fairly, because Deji's character and his love interest in the beginning, played by Sandra, the actor Sandra, at some point she abandoned him because she felt that he didn't have what it took to keep up with her baddie, her aspiration to be a baddie or to be a big girl. And yes, that level of abandonment. And also you could see it in the relationship with his brother, not really being totally active where taking care of his grandmother is concerned. You could also see it in Bimbo's character leaving home, basically abandoning home in Nigeria and going to a different African country to start life. Now, in the area of forgiveness, that stemmed from the movie really touched on it, kind of, not really, but kind of forgiving oneself, okay? And that's something that Bimbo needed, the character she played needed to come to terms with, that she misunderstood her dad to a far degree, and she had to get to a point where she forgave herself, and in forgiving herself, it provoked some level of humility that made her call her father. And in the area of personal boundaries, oh yeah, it did show, personal boundaries, where Deji, the character that Timini played, realized what really love is, and even after no matter what he went through, he realized that you would see that he still valued himself. He still had love, because his grandmother is an epitome of love, and that translated to his character, and that helped him build healthy boundaries, even at the risk of losing his job, literally. So yes, the film did touch on those aspects. Now, let's go on a quick short break, and when we come back, we're going to go straight into the character growth of these different characters in the movie Miles Away from Home. We'll be right back. This is still Filmlab. Welcome back. This is still Filmlab and still reviewing Miles Away from Home. And before we went on a short break, I did ask a question, or rather I did raise a point, character growth. Was there any character growth in this movie? I believe there was character growth in this movie. First of all, you could see it in Deji. That's the character Timini played. His younger brother grew up at some point, because when the movie started, you could see that the money that he saved set aside for Sisi Eko, that's his grandmother, her medical bills, his brother took it to buy, or if I'm not mistaken, repair his phone. And I remember when he broke the news to his grandmother that he was going to leave Lagos to go to another African country, which was Benin Republic. Benin Republic. She was really worried because she kept asking him key questions. Who is going to take care of me like you? And he said, oh, my brother. And as the movie progressed, you could see that his brother grew up. His brother assumed the role of Timini, taking care of Timini. You could also see Timini's growth. I mean, who would have known that he probably would have fallen in love again shortly after his heart was mercilessly broken by his ex-girlfriend. You could also see the character growth of the character Bimbo herself, in the character she played, having to overcome her hurt due to the demise of her mother, and having to realize that at the end of the day she was just in her head. So these characters literally grew, and you could see when they started to who they finally became. So I think that was actually solid, not too much but sufficient. And then in terms of production quality, honestly speaking, I really liked it. Was quite impressive, the production quality. You could see some of the creative angles they tried to adapt while shooting, and the cinematography was quite good. I honestly not bad. Even the night scenes, there's something I always say, a lot of the times in Nollywood when they try to depict night scenes, I don't know why there is just so much light just blasting. Like, come on, when it's night, right? So that was something that stood out for me, and I loved the pace. I loved how Timini really carried the movie. His character really carried the movie, and you could see from bad circumstances to worse, and then at some points it was good. So the pace was very gradual, and you would have, like, it provoked certain emotions. You were drawn to really feel the pain, and it was like, oh my gosh, when would this suffering end? So it was very gradual. It wasn't just a rush of a barrage of information. No, it was done very tastefully. And then the soundtrack was actually quite okay. And one thing I did love is that, in as much as they shot the movie in Benin Republic, because definitely our Nigerian actors have an audience in other West African and other African countries, continentally and even globally. One thing I did like that Bimbo did is that she didn't get carried away using the movie to do tourism for Benin Republic. Did she show us parts of Benin Republic? Yes, she did. And the beautiful thing I liked that she did was that she was able to seamlessly tie it into the storytelling. The tourism or the show of Benin Republic, you could really see it happen when they went on their off day. They didn't have their shift that day, and they were able to go to different, and she was now the tourist guide taking Deji around Benin Republic so that he can have some form of ease and relief from all the chaos that he had been going through, especially because he just got discharged from the hospital. Unlike, I love Kunle Afolayan, sir, you are a fantastic scriptwriter, cinematographer, director. There was a movie he shot with Temi Otedola, and honestly, I was a bit disappointed in the sense that brilliant cinematography, by the way. It just felt like the movie just became about the tourism of that African country and not the story that was being told anymore. I felt like the movie just got lost in revealing the country's tourism. I didn't feel that there was a balance. But with Bimbo's movie, Miles Away from Home, I honestly feel that she balanced it really well. And in terms of authenticity, now, does the storyline feel grounded in Nigerian culture or is it shaped for the global audience? I feel like the story was being grounded in Nigeria's reality. Would I say culture? Not really. But would I say reality? Definitely. Because a lot of people like to live in a bubble, right? And a lot of people don't understand that there are parts of Nigeria and Nigerian youth that actually, work tirelessly day and night to earn a decent living, even with degrees. So did it really depict the Nigerian culture? Not really, but it was great at depicting Nigeria's reality that our government actually needs to pay close attention to as to, why exactly graduates would graduate but not able to find a job. So very good. But I would say it also depicted the culture. Would I say culture? I would say the beauty of Benin Republic. It depicted it as a beautiful country with beautiful sights, but also depicted the reality of prejudice, because the hotel manager he had such loud prejudice against Nigerians, and he would blanket every Nigerian the same, but at the same time he had a love interest for a Nigerian. So yes, but I wish that Bimbo showed more of our culture through different ways, not just the sufferings of the Nigerian youth, which is valid, but it would have been nice to tie in, our culture and depict it in a more vibrant and a positive light. That doesn't mean that there was no positive end or show to the story. There definitely was. And the positive end was that Nigeria is now moving to the agricultural sector and how a lot of youth should get interested in agriculture because that's the new oil, basically. And in terms of love, it shows that, in a lot of movies, a rich man, and even in Nigeria, the reality is that a well-doing man can marry a girl that doesn't really have much going on for her. But in this movie, it showed that it can be the other way around. Like a well-doing woman, from a good home can actually be the anchor of a bright young man, because the narrative that has been trending is Nigerian girls, they're all about this. No. I love the fact that Bimbo represented the Nigerian women that know how to stand with good men and know how to identify men with prospects, not just audio mark men that some girls want to kill themselves for, and then you now start blaming and saying all men are the same. Please be wise in your selection. And Bimbo showed us that. Now, finally, the overall impact is the lasting message. The lasting message did create, it did hold a lot of power, and it showed that no matter what, and no matter the chaos, the no's that Deji, the character of Deji, experienced, you should never let go of your dreams. And the reason why he wasn't even getting jobs was because he didn't know how to write a CV. The moment she took his CV and transformed his CV, he started getting callbacks. So a lot of the times when a lot of Nigerian youth send out their CV, it's not because you're not good enough. It's just because that little factor of how are you actually constructing your CV? Is your CV bragging a lot about your capabilities, or is it undermining your capabilities? And the character Deji did not have to go into fraud and whatever. He would rather do odd jobs, break his back, have hope and faith, be open to constructive criticism, and keep pushing. I think that's the biggest, most powerful message in this movie. And to never treat your next love interest like your old toxic, like the whatever toxic or bad experience that you had with your old love interest. Okay, this has been a wonderful time on Filmlab, guys. I really love this movie, and I'm sure you would when you watch it. Our social media handles are shown on the screen right now, and the number to call to be part of this conversation, and to definitely recommend movies that you would love for us or myself to review. The Filmlab rating for this movie, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It was really good, but there is still a lot of room for improvement. But the message was beautiful. It's been a wonderful time on Filmlab. I'm Joan, and this is my favorite part. It's a wrap. Thank you.